What's up, friends? This is our AEW Full Gear review. We decided to review it even though it was kind of bullshit. But, you know, we're true wrestling fans, so here we are, and I'm persevering and pushing through.
It was an awesome show. We'll get to the best part in a little bit, but it was an awesome show.
It was fine.
No, this was a solid pay-per-view. There was obviously a huge moment, a title change that probably was one of the greatest moments of all time. But we'll get to the 0 hour.
You were drinking.
Start. Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. I can't remember. I was setting up the pod or doing something. I can't remember what happened. So you saw it. I didn't.
It was great.
Tell me about it.
Anna won. Taya, Mrs. Morrison, tried to get involved. And she got kicked out. And then Anna did what Anna does best.
Mm-hmm.
Kick ass and leave. And that's what she did. It was great. And there was a really cute little fan who was like right in the front row and had a big like Anna sign, and she like signed it for him. It was really cute.
That's cool.
So loved that for her. I'm really excited for her like trajectory that we're going on here.
I'm interested in it because Anna now seemingly is getting a big push. She's got a lot of wins. I imagine she is in that international cup that they're doing with AEW, Ring of Honor, Stardom, and CMLL. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A little worried about what this means for Deonna Purrazzo.
I know. I really was like, I feel like I have so many ideas for women's wrestling, especially in AEW, and they're just not happening. It feels a little stalled. Right now, and I don't really know why that is. I mean, I know there's a lot going on with like all the men's wrestling, but like,
no, but you
gotta have somebody.
They go,
working
hey,
on the
we're gonna have
too.
two stories,
right?
For the women, you have the Mercedes story and you have the women's championship story.
Like Anna Jay, like doing well, can't. That's not. That
it's not a
story.
It's not a story.
That's not enough. I still hope they give her like a mob faction, but it feels
for
like
Deonna.
I would Deonna, Mercedes, both, all. I don't care, but it feels like we're not getting either of those. So I don't know.
Yeah, it certainly feels like we started something with Deonna, and we really haven't built up on that for Deonna. And,
there is some start. I feel like there's a lot of start and not finishing in wrestling going on in the last like year or so.
Yeah. Then there's the four-way match: Dante, Martin, Buddy Matthews, Beast Mortos, and Commander, which Buddy Matthews won. This was fine. I mean, these are all four great wrestlers. Couple cool spots. It was
really just to put something on the card. I don't think it.
Really had sometimes you don't have to.
What? Yeah.
You don't have to put everything on the card.
You could have done like a 1 hour card and just done like the Anna Jay and the AJ match.
Or you could just like have made it a bigger deal on Collision. You know what I mean? But then we got the real main event of arguably the entire show outside of a certain match. And it was Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. 5 stars. What a classic we got. I'd give that 5 booms. I didn't know too much about the Costco guys until a couple weeks ago when I was seeing all the AEW stuff. So I was like, let me go down this rabbit hole. Their content kind of scared me a little bit because they're like, it's so like, you know, I don't know how else to describe it. But everything changed. Rizzler came out with Big Show, and he just.
I'm gonna be real. I knew nothing. Like, I didn't even like hear about them and go down the rabbit hole to like see who they were. I just heard about them and I was like, guys that make Costco content? I was like, okay, whatever. I did not search them up. I didn't look at anything. I was just like, okay. Rizzler Kid popped me.
Yeah.
That was so cute. I didn't know that, like, I literally knew nothing about them. So he did that and I popped. And everyone was like, it's hilarious watching somebody, like, see them for the first time.
Yeah. And it's also hilarious because it's like, there's nothing else to get. It's that.
Yeah, it's
like
just,
it's that,
what it is.
and
what
it's like you either love it or hate it. And we saw in real time, you'd be like, "I fucking love this."
Yeah, no, it was great. But the AJ dude,
solid.
He did really well for like. I didn't realize he was actually like a pro wrestler, low key, like years ago.
Yeah.
But he did really well. So shout out to QT Marshall for putting this together.
Yeah.
I think it did well, and it sounds like this is something that is going to pop up now and again based on the press conference. It sounds like both him and Tony. Well, he was like, you know, if I'm allowed back, and Tony was like, you are. He was like, and if I were to come back, and Tony's like, you can.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's also interesting how Tony said that AJ has really taught him like marketing, which is crazy to say that the TikTok guy taught him.
I think what he meant was more so the importance of social media.
No,
and he just
actually, no. What we need to do is tell Tony Khan that he needs a bunch of TikTokers coming in and helping him out. All right, so you got the marketer here, and now you got the writer here, and Johnny. All right.
Oh, okay.
You can do.
I could make viral content. Put me with Jack Perry.
Yeah, you can make content with the wrestlers.
I would
I'll be
make
writing
viral
fire.
content with these people. Are you kidding me? Me and
Fire.
Mercedes.
What would you do with Mercedes? What's the TikTok?
We would annoy the fuck out of everybody. Just go around and be like, wow, look at how you're so much better than her. And you're so much better than... It would drive people fucking insane.
Like this or that with Mercedes, but everything is like being a dick would kind of would kind of hit. So that was the pre-show. AJ obviously defeats QT because it's fine. It was QT Marshall,
Yeah.
But I do think that this really worked out. I think it popped the crowd. I thought it was great.
It was like a good fun time.
It was like good fun
kind
time.
Of stupid but like fun. Whatever.
Yes. It reminds me a lot of Sammy and Johnny Knoxville for WrestleMania, and it was just cool and it was fun, and it was like if you can not have a stick up your ass,
what is
you
that
can
movie
enjoy
again that Knoxville's in? What is the one that they did with it was all the characters? I hadn't seen it. I don't remember what it's called.
We
as
lived
soon as you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh right.
We lived two separate childhoods. Jackass.
Yeah, thank you. I thought.
And
it
don't
was
say
Dumbass.
like the movie. Jackass was a TV show. Jackass was a video series. Jackass was like 5 movies.
My guess was gonna be Dumbass, but I was like, I can't. Be
No,
of it.
Jackass was a movement.
Oh, okay.
It was incredibly important to me, and then it also spawned Viva La Bam.
The movie or the show or whatever the fuck you said. So like, I didn't enjoy that one as much, but I liked
That's
it.
crazy.
Yeah. He had the kid that was cute. So.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean we can't skip by the match without talking about Big Justice spear better than Edge's. All right. Just boom coming in with a big boom right there.
I was nervous when he popped up because he walks in and he's like the whole time he is by far, I don't want to say like uncomfortable, but he's the most you can see he's the most nervous.
Yeah.
Out of like, I mean the grown ass man who's like I'm here for a good time versus the little kid who like probably has no idea.
He's out of his element. Yeah.
And so Big Justice was like definitely very nervous.
Yeah.
And he walks in and I'm like, oh my god, what's he gonna do? And I don't know what the fuck he did mentally, but he just like locked in and went for it. And I thought he was gonna like fuck up whatever he was gonna do.
He lived all of our dreams.
He did well,
right? He lived all of our dreams by being like, I'm gonna get in the ring.
He played the role of Daddy Dom.
And I'm gonna hit a mean spear on this guy, and did it.
Yeah.
Clean.
It was great.
So big boom, 5-star match, classic. Put AJ in the C2. And then we got to the actual card.
Yes.
Which was, we started off with the tag match. It was Private Party, Kings of the Black Throne, aka House of Black, who came out on the pre-show. They had a live performance for their entrance. The Outrunners and the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed already had tension immediately with Caster throwing the mic at Bowens.
I'm like, when is the split?
Yeah.
We're dragging shit out, my guys.
Here's what I didn't like about this match. This match is cool. This match was fine. Private Party retained, right? House Black got a big pop.
Yeah.
I fear that the Outrunners kind of big momentum is already kind of dwindling down. But my issue with this match is that I was so focused on the Acclaimed and not Private Party. And I feel like with Private Party's first title defense, it should have been really focused on them. And then even if you're, okay, so cool, you're going to focus on the Acclaim and their tension and they're upset at each other, right? And then you still don't make the turn. It's like, God damn, bro, are we waiting until World's End?
Well, that's what I guess.
We've waited so long for it.
I'm like, what are we waiting for? I don't understand why we're not pulling the trigger on it. Because, like, respectfully, I wasn't even thinking, like, oh, it took attention away from Private Party. Like, I was just sitting there, like, when are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because, I guess my thing is, like, and this was kind of part of, like, the issue with, like, Liv Dom Rhea, was I was like, we're seeing the same thing every week.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to, like, drag this out a little bit and not have Caster turn, that's fine. But each week, you need to add something a little bit different. And instead, we're just kind of repeating Caster saying that he's the best wrestler ever. And every single week, Bowens goes...
Right.
It's like
exactly.
He says this every single week. Like, this isn't new information. So, like, you need to, like, add, like, maybe Billy comes in and is like, both you need to figure your shit out. Or, like, Bowens goes back at him and they like, something. But, like, every week, it's Caster says something obnoxious. Bowens pretends to be shocked as if he hasn't said it every single week. He doesn't say anything back, and then Caster just walks off.
It really feels like you have seen the same episode 5-6 times, and they're like, hey, check out, the season finale is going to be great. It's like, cool. I wish that you would make this 8 episodes instead of 16 episodes and just get where you were going.
Yeah.
There is no, like you're saying, there's no progression in it. It's the same exact episode and you're just waiting for the season finale.
Yeah.
But Private Party got to retain, and that's cool because I love Private Party. And then we got to the match that I don't think hit. I don't think it hit.
Listen. I love MJF.
Yeah.
I have never
I love MJF.
Seen MJF and been like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's 100% because like I don't give a single shit about Roddy Strong.
You're
like,
wrong.
There's no that, like I want to be so clear. There's quite literally nothing you could do to make this man interesting to me. He just annoys me. He bores me. I cannot be. He doesn't interest me.
I don't know if you enjoy backbreakers. You enjoy graps.
Put him next to Daddy Dom, and I would tell you, Daddy Dom not only absolutely put this entire storyline on his fucking back and carried his old ass through the whole thing. I would tell you that Roddy still bored me in front of Daddy Dom. He just, I can't do it. I can't do it. And the whole story, we're looping back to fucking MJF and Adam Cole. Let it die. Let it die. Please let it die. It's boring. I just don't care. And I thought this was at least going to go into like Roddy and Adam Cole and then let MJF do something else. And it's not. And now we have Roddy. And respectfully, I don't even remember what the fuck Roddy's problem with him was. Is it back to the devil shit, which was the worst, like the biggest letdown in wrestling history for me? When those masks came off and it was fucking him and the what's-their-face twins?
I don't enjoy this Roddy slander because Roddy's dope. Roddy was not the problem.
He bores the shit out of me.
The problem was that
Taven's
Roddy...
haircut? Yeah.
What's wrong? Taven's haircut.
So, wait, that's the one not married to Maria, right?
Yes.
That's the other one?
Yes,
yeah, so many things are wrong with his
Okay, so MJF ends up, he moves and Roddy hits the post, and it seems as though, Roddy broke his hand or something. MJF, they battle for a little bit, and MJF kind of like goes to break his fingers, and it looks like, oh shit, he broke his fingers. Roddy taps. Like that, it makes sense, but just the match didn't hit. The story hasn't hit. I think a huge reason why the story hasn't hit is because Cole's not involved in this match, and Cole should be the one involved in this match.
It makes no sense why Roddy was.
We're dragging it out. Roddy did not make sense to be in the match. What would have made sense? The only reason why I thought that they were adding Roddy into it is that it was, they had to win 3 straight. Logically, the third match for both Cole and Strong was each other, and then. All right, if Cole's going to end up becoming like a bad guy or Strong's going to end up going back here or whatever, you can create that tension in that match, or you can create Kyle kind of being like, I don't want either of my friends fighting because that's going to lead to something bad or something like that, because all of those story beats are coming together.
Yeah.
They just did it in a really weird way that drags this out to World's End.
Yeah.
I don't know what's so important that you had to have this match at World's End. Also, it didn't help that this story was MJF not really being there because he's filming a movie. Right. All this has been a mess. This match kind of culminated in kind of being a mess. Then after the match, MJF goes to break Roddy's arm. Looks like he does, which sucks because now it looks like Roddy's not going to be in the C2. Then Cole comes out late, and then Kyle and Taven and Bennett all come out, and Kyle is pissed at Cole because Kyle had told Cole that he didn't want to see his friends hurt, and Cole's involvement with MJF would result in that.
Oh, wow. Kyle, pick better friends. So... here's the other thing. I think this is like, and to be fair, this might be because I'm not paying as much attention because I don't like him. But Roddy and then also Adam Cole, do their characters seem weird to you right now?
What do you mean?
Like
they might turn? Or?
It's almost like, I don't know if it's like we're trying too hard to make the story work or they're just like weird tweeners right now, but like mostly babyface. But then they kind of argue against each other and it feels a little heelish, and then MJF comes in as full heel. Like, I just feel like there's not a clear direction of like who's doing what's happening. I don't know how to like describe it.
When Cole came out and he was late, I was like, is he going to go join MJF? Like, is it going to be a ruse that they were like, oh no, we're still brochachos?
Yeah.
Or something. I think that you're kind of waiting for the shoe to drop on MJF and Cole, why is Roddy involved?
I'm waiting for it to make sense.
You're waiting for, exactly. You're waiting for all of this to make sense because at the moment it doesn't. And I think that I fear that this entire story with MJF and Cole hasn't fully made sense. I actually liked when Cole came back and he was like, I had to do this because MJF is a dick, blah blah.
You know what it kind of is actually? It is kind of like waiting for it to make sense.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like that entire few week period when he was feuding with Ospreay and we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and then finally MJF was like, "They loved me before you were here," and then it was like, boom! That's what we've been waiting for. That makes fucking sense. Like, I feel like I'm waiting for like almost like I have like half of the puzzle done and I'm waiting for something to put the rest of the pieces together.
Yeah, I think so. I think that you're even waiting for like the hint for that shoe to drop so that we know where the story's
like,
going.
I'm sitting here like, are we
nothing.
going Roddy, Adam Cole?
Yeah.
Are we just sticking with MJF? What the fuck is Kyle O'Reilly doing out here? Like, it's just so weird.
I don't think it was interesting. I just scrolled past. Bleacher Report gave that match a B+. I just cannot agree with that. I think Roddy's awesome. I think Roddy's awesome. He's an awesome wrestler, and I do enjoy him. But now he's likely not going to be in the C2, and that makes me sad. So yeah, it looks like I actually think that like the Undisputed Kingdom having this like internal feud could be interesting when it's just them. Okay, move that away from Cole or move that away from MJF.
Yeah.
And just let MJF do something else that's interesting,
Yeah.
hopefully, because
That's
the
probably
last
your best
few
bet, to be honest.
have not been great. The next match though, awesome.
Oh, this was my second match of the night. Second best for me.
Yeah. It's second or third.
I want to just want to put it out there like nicely, respectfully, full of love to everybody who's gonna see this and like followers, friends, besties. I'll fucking fight you if I see Mercedes slander. I'm looking right into the camera. Well, I'll fucking fight you.
It's gonna be hard to slander after this match. There was a lot.
Oh, there still is.
Really?
Yes.
There is a lot of discourse about Mercedes after that Brit match, and there was a lot of people being like, "Yo, actually, Mercedes is kind of washed." And this is a thing just kind of with AEW fans a lot is that, and just like people kind of preying on Mercedes' downfall, and I think that just goes for like a wide net of the internet. But they, when there's not an amazing match for someone that's supposed to be amazing in Ospreay at Takeshita, somebody like that, they're like, they kind of suck.
Right.
And it's like, all right, so that was a bad match, or just like or it was a fine match, or it was an uninteresting match.
Perfect.
No one's gonna have 5-star bangers. Now, I fear for Britt that she really gonna have to work her way back up in the graces of the AEW fans' minds.
AEW fans, I think, are hard to please in a very different way than WWE fans are, and I talked about this in my "I Said What I Said" a couple episodes ago. But and we kind of called it out in ourselves when I was talking about like I was trying to pinpoint like what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But like AEW fans are very spoiled with like the caliber of wrestling that we get to see week in and week out.
Yeah.
And that's great to like have that. But then it's like if something is like maybe somebody's a little off in a match. Yeah. Like, not even talking about, like, Mercedes Britt, but, like...
there is a match that we will talk about later.
Like, Ospreay Jericho.
Yeah.
That was not Ospreay Danielson.
No, I mean...
was not... But, like, it was a good match, but it was not an Ospreay
But you remember when that match happened at All In 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And Ospreay Jericho... The discourse on that was, Ospreay's not as good as you guys think. Right. And it was like, no, he didn't have a great match. Sometimes the dancing partner. Sometimes it's just, like, some styles just don't mix.
I think there's also a big thing that, like... I think AEW fans a lot of time don't take into consideration is like I personally think from like I'm not a wrestler, but like what I see is like it seems like kind of like chemistry is a bigger piece of it than maybe
100%.
like we understand as fans.
Yeah.
Because like I mean that's the whole thing with like Bianca and Io. Everybody's like they're fucking wrestling soulmates.
Exactly.
Like they just are perfection.
Hangman Swerve.
There's something about I don't know if Bianca and Io are like besties or not besties,
right.
but either way,
and maybe
like,
it's good to not be best friends.
Maybe they're not, and it's whatever. But like they are just. They're super in sync. They just like kind of get where the other one's going, and it goes really fluidly.
Yeah.
But like, not every match is going to be great, but it really feels like if it's like not a 4.5 out of 5-star match, AEW fans are like, wow, you're actually not amazing. You actually kind of suck, and you should like go to like NXT.
Yeah. Well, luckily they are not going to have those disparaging things thrown at them for this match because Mercedes versus Stat. A feud I have not liked, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair.
But a great match. So Mercedes in the pre-show tells Camille to go to the catering because she fucks everything up, and that Mercedes is going to win on her own. The only thing I don't like about this is Mercedes has consistently won on her own, and she's supposed to be this chicken shit heel, blah, blah. And it's like, cool, she's an amazing wrestler. It's just making her, to me, it makes her more babyface to see her kick out and do all these insane moves and have this amazing match and then win with resiliency. And she's supposed to be this super big dickhead.
I don't think
I mean,
I don't think it makes her look babyface.
But especially when she's facing big powerhouses like a stat.
But I think for me, I don't think it makes her look babyface. But I think I think the thought process would be, because I actually like that she wins clean often, because she's fucking Sasha Banks. She's Mercedes Moné. Like, everyone knows how good she is. She is like widely considered to be one of, if not the best women's wrestler. So like I think there's a good mix of, like, she is kind of chicken shit sometimes when she has Camille. But like, I also think, like, everybody knows how talented and how good she is. Like, she should be able to win clean on her own.
Yeah.
I like that they do that, because I think it makes her a really strong heel champion, and I like that it's a little different. And I like that.
I hear it. It kind of reminds me of that short time that Ospreay was a heel, right? But I think that the character doesn't match the wrestler.
I don't agree.
I think that her character is like, Camille, go do this for me. Like, scared.
But
right?
I don't think it's supposed to be scared. I think it's supposed to be, I'm the boss, I'm the best, and these bitches do as I fucking say.
So then what's the use of Camille? Respectfully, what's
to
Camille's
handle
use?
Things that she doesn't want to. Not that she can or that she's scared, but she's like, she wants to, like, just hold her titles and, like, be left the fuck alone and collect belts like fucking Kenny did apparently 5 years ago.
He did.
She just wants to do that. So when somebody, like, steps up to her, she's like, nah, you got to deal with her first. You can get through her, then you can deal with me. But until then, you deal with that, because I'm better than you, and I don't go down to your level.
she shouldn't come off as so, like, scared in those moments.
I don't
though.
think she
like
does.
running away. I think she does.
I don't think she does all the time. I think sometimes, yes, but I don't think all the time. I do like her character. I like what they're doing.
I think that if that is the case, if she does run with that, I think that she should be more like mastermind than kind of like running away. You know
That's
what I mean?
fair. I think what I kind of liked about, it was really quick, but I mentioned it on the pod, was at the very end of this match, Mercedes got pretty scrappy. It got a little desperate when, like, because Stat was just very overpowering her, and you could see Mercedes, like, clawing at her and, like, really trying to push through at the end.
Yeah.
I liked that. I think that almost goes towards your thing a little bit of, like, she was feeling a little desperate, like she couldn't overpower people. And I liked that added little bit to her, but I don't know, I like this version of her. I think they need to iron out the story a little and what they're kind of doing. I think they need to settle somewhere with her, but I do like the direction they're going with her.
In the ring, she hooped. I wish, and I also think it would protect the babyface a little bit. Cheat a little bit. Use a chair.
I think it's hard.
I think pull some tights.
I think they're mixing, like, how good she is, but trying to make her heel, and they're trying to show both at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it works enough, but I do think eventually we need to see more, like, maybe a little mastermind, or, like, more of, like, a boss mentality. I think we need to see more of her being like, go do that.
A good way to correlate this for me and how I'm feeling is she should be more Gunther and Camille should be more of the Ludwig than vice versa. I think in the character, she tries to act more of the Ludwig and, kind of like talk her shit and then be like, Camille, go handle it. You know what I mean? And I think that should be flipped. And she should be more using like Camille almost as a shield. And then she can kick the shit out of people.
To an extent.
She doesn't kick the shit out of people backstage. She gets the shit kicked out of her backstage.
Depending on what she's wearing, she can in the moment. She gotta be careful. I hear that. I think I like what they're doing with her because I think it's a little different.
Regardless, the match was really, really good.
It was so good. It was so good.
The demise of Mercedes Moné has been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
Then we had another interesting match here, another clean win that I thought was very interesting. Switchblade Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
Working the legs, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them worked the legs, the foot.
I think that made it weird, a little.
I liked it.
I liked it, but it was like, it felt like they were. You don't usually see both wrestlers doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So it almost like they mirrored each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just like very different. And almost, I was kind of like, can we do something else? Add a little something else?
That is interesting. It was almost like Hangman lost because Hangman ends up losing this to Jay White. because, and it actually, now that you say that, it's Jay White trying to hit Hidden Blade, and it's Hangman trying to hit Buckshot.
Yeah.
And neither one of them can get it, and then
Right.
eventually Jay White gets it. In the same way that Jay White messed up Hangman's leg more than Hangman was able to mess up Jay White's leg.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't beat me at this game. I'm actually better than you.
Right, yeah.
So Hangman is going to have to go do something different that is something Jay White is not maybe willing to do.
Or hasn't thought to.
Or hasn't thought to do. And maybe that is to just literally be a more violent character, because I think Hangman could tap into that.
Yeah.
Hangman is somebody, maybe Jay White isn't willing to take a rope and choke somebody.
Yeah. Or use needles.
Or use needles.
I liked this match. I kind of forgot it was on the card for a
Yeah,
sec.
that's fair.
Just because we've done this a few times now at this point, but I think the more of what I want to talk about with Hangman is actually more towards the end of the show, so we'll get to that later.
Yeah, sure. I think that AEW is, I don't want to say wasting Hangman, but Hangman should be in the main event scene. Hangman should be going for the world title. And Hangman, I think, should have won this match. Jay White is up 5-1 on Hangman, which is a similar record. I believe he's 5-2 against Okada all time.
Jay White's my guy, bro.
No, okay, so then make that a character, make that a part of him. Is like I am the world beater.
Yeah.
The world beater, Jay White. I'm pretty sure he's beat Kenny as well. Like being like, I actually can beat any person because my track record says I've done it.
Yeah.
And that would be an interesting little caveat to Jay White. Even if he is like the upsetter, he's the the dark horse Jay White. You know what I mean? Something like that. There you go, He may be like the fourth person that you think of to be world champion, but he's like, I'm actually going to be number one. I'm the sleeper.
Yeah.
Sleep, and then he finishes people with the sleeper. Come on now. Anyways, Jay White, almost free. Then we get to match of the night, match of the year.
This was definitely
possibly. I don't know if I'll go as far as that, but it was easily match of the night. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. I mean, it's a Will Ospreay match. This dude is literally the best wrestler in the world.
Kyle Fletcher is trying to be Randy Orton.
Kyle Fletcher absolutely attempted to be Randy Orton, and he goddamn might be.
Down to the DDT through the ropes with the
He's got the tattoos now. He's feeling different. He got the shaved head. This match was so fucking good. I think Ospreay had one of my favorite gears I've ever seen.
It was cool.
Just dope-ass gear there in some kind of Punisher Billy Goat gear. I just thought he looked super, super cool. Him and Fletcher go all out. I mean, there's like not a rest in this match.
Yeah.
Craziest spot here is Fletcher ends up putting a pile driver on the outside on steel steps on Ospreay. Kyle Fletcher was willing to go to places that Ospreay wasn't.
Yeah.
And eventually he wins clean. He just straight up wins clean.
I think I go into every Ospreay match thinking Ospreay's gonna win.
Yeah.
But I think this one, I understand why Kyle Fletcher wins. I understand the thought process and like how we're kind of progressing the story. And I think it is going to, we're very quickly seeing Fletcher kind of become a next guy up and like a next star.
Yeah.
He's really gone from like 0 to 100.
He was not zero.
No, but like he's really like progressed a lot in the last like 6 to 8 months.
I mean, he was on Ring of Honor not too long ago.
Right.
He was on Ring of Honor.
So, like, he's, like, made big moves to be, like, a top guy in AEW recently. But I'm super excited. This was a really good match. I think this is going to be one of those, like, deeply personal, like, feuds and storylines that, like, if done well, Tony, I feel like this could be a really, really, really big story for AEW. And, like, when Kyle Fletcher is, like, AEW World Champion in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like, this was the start of that.
Yeah. This is eventually gonna get the My Way music video, or it's gonna be the I hate everything about you. You know, the Edge and Christian type shit. It's gonna get My Way. It's gonna get the Stone Cold Steve Austin Rock treatment. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Ospreay is. I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck what people say. Ospreay's the best goddamn wrestler I have watched wrestling since I was 2. It's been integrated in my brain. Even though when I was 2 years old, I remember the matches I was watching. There's just, I don't think that there's been anybody I think as good in the ring.
Yeah.
And watching back, like
he is just like constantly. I'm like, how does a human do that?
He is genuinely generational. I maybe you can argue Kenny, maybe you can argue Danielson. I get it, and those are like they're different styles. They're like strokes for different folks, right? But like for me, he really is in that like echelon of best wrestler I have ever seen in the ring.
No, I agree.
And I think like last night I was watching that and I was kind of like I was trying to think. I was just like, yeah, like Ospreay's one of, and then I was like, I keep saying one of. But I don't know who I'm putting ahead.
Right,
If I take his catalog, and I know that Ospreay gets a ton of shit because Dave Meltzer likes his wrestling. Maybe me and Dave Meltzer agree on some fucking wrestling. All right, because that's just maybe, bro. Okay, I can disagree with a lot of Meltzer's takes. All right, Kurt Angle never have a 5-star match. That's crazy. All right, he's very mean to women. I don't understand it. He just doesn't see great women's wrestling. I don't get it. But on Will Ospreay, he's got the nail on the head. All right, goddamn, he might have 25-star matches. Everything he does is awesome. Maybe I'm just an Ospreay simp here, but he is just he's the best. He's the best. He's inhuman. He's the best. He is the best. I don't care. For my type of wrestling, that dude is goddamn nearly perfect. Also, I get tired of when people are like, yeah, he's really good in the ring. No, he's actually a fucking phenomenal promo. So, he's at this point, if I were to build a wrestler, I think he's a perfect wrestler.
Yeah.
I think he is the wrestler I would build.
Yeah.
Him and Mustafa.
Right.
We need that match. Tony Khan, throw the fucking money, throw the fucking bag at him. I was just sitting there. I was like watching his moveset, and I was like, Ospreay may have the best moveset in wrestling. It's him and Mustafa. Yeah.
I didn't hear Daddy Dom in that conversation.
Nope.
Oh.
There was a reason for that.
All right. Wow.
And Io.
All right. Moving on from your rudeness. Champagne celebration.
Yes. I saw a lot of hate. I liked it.
I liked it. Part of me, I have a couple thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I do think it could have been on Dynamite. I don't think it needed to be on this card, although it
That's a good point.
5 minutes.
That's a good point.
3, Mariah turning on Mina. I think we need to understand it a little bit more.
Good point.
Because Mariah has been essentially on her knees begging for Mina to come back to fucking AEW. She finally does. And with quite literally no explanation, Mariah goes to turn on her. And somebody had said online, I had tweeted or put on threads about it, and they were like, oh, well, Mina hung out with Tony.
No, that's not.
And I'm like, one, I don't think that it is. But 2, if it was just like, oh, you hung out with Tony Storm, and then also me, like you're friends with both of us, like we need to hear that.
No, 100%.
Because if that is the and I don't think that that's the reason. But is it just like she's gonna KO everything? She's just gonna turn on everybody? Like what? I just it doesn't fit that like she's been like going after Mina, almost like relationship.
Right.
Like, courting towards her or whatever. It's
well,
like,
Mina did call her in the Champagne celebration the love of her life.
Right. And so, like, they're almost like, they kind of tease, like, being in a relationship.
Yeah.
And Mariah's been begging and begging and begging for her to come back, hang out with her, do this, that. And then she does. And then it just doesn't, it didn't make sense to me. The spot was cool. Like, through the table with the blood. Like, that was cool.
I love the spot. I love where this will go.
Right.
But those are, I think, very valid criticisms of it because I don't know why Mariah turned, right? And it kind of seems as though, I feel like AEW a lot of times, they don't want to show us the hint. They don't want to show the cards, and I think it's okay. Or, you keep showing the cards, and then boom, it's a flip. Kind of how Tony and Mariah was.
Yeah.
I kind of think that.
But I think it's okay to, like, show one hint.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Little,
show a little bit of where we're going, and you don't need to keep it all and then go, oh, surprise. You know what I mean? You can kind of get where we're going.
I feel like AEW does either like a lot of hints to the point that we're like Caster, and we're like, oh my fucking god, let's do it, or they show nothing.
Yeah,
I need sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes.
A nice swerve, a nice change is nice.
I love a swerve.
Yeah.
I love something that
Strictly.
I don't know is coming.
Yeah.
Not that one. But
swerve.
He's just not my guy. I love when I don't see something coming.
Yeah.
Especially a turn. I love that shit. I love the chaos. I love the drama. But with something like this, it just feels so out of left field that I'm like, a hint would have been nice.
No, so like Mariah and Tony was basically booked to goddamn near perfection, right?
Right.
And what they did was a couple times.
It was so small.
But a couple times they had Mariah be like, and then a lot of times they had Tony be like that.
Yeah.
But it's just because Tony's character was over the top.
Right.
Right. And then Mariah's was actually plotting.
Right.
Like, and it's nice that you had these little things that you could go, actually, I think that they're actually saying that Mariah's going to turn.
Right.
And then people are like, well, obviously you see Tony's going to turn. And it's just
Right.
like, you can kind of have that debate between the two. And then boom, big shock. Oh, it was actually Mariah.
Yeah.
You could have easily done that here with Mina. And maybe it's just because of the travel restrictions and everything for that.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think this was, yeah. I think that there needs to be a lot of explanation. I love the spot though. I thought the swerve was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that this needs a really heavy focus on the next few Dynamites and Collisions.
Definitely.
To make sense.
I need to know what's happening.
I think that maybe the story that here is just that Mariah she doesn't trust anybody and she doesn't want any friends.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so
let's talk about the match of the night.
This.
Let's talk about the match of the night. Let's talk about Daniel motherfucking Garcia winning the TNT Championship from that bitch ass Jack Perry.
Hey, I will fight you for Jack Perry.
That's problematic. So we had Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry in the TNT Championship match.
Honestly,
so Jack Perry just tapped out.
So this really was just
out.
like, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
Uh-huh.
This wasn't a championship match.
What?
This was live on TV community service that Jack Perry completed for Daniel Garcia. We should all be thankful and grateful to Jack Perry for being willing to do this for Garcia and being willing to spend all this time selflessly lifting him up and making him ready, making him championship worthy, kind of. And we should all just be thanking Jack Perry for that, because clearly nobody else was going to do it. Not little entertainer, what's his face, Matt something. He wasn't going to do it. He's too busy shooting Home Alone movies. So Garcia wasn't ready on his own, and Jack Perry made him ready. So you're all welcome. That's my thoughts on this match. So.
Yeah, it says that the bullshit is over with.
There's
we're done
no watch
with,
there,
we're
so
done
nice
with the
try.
bullshit. Half past a freckle.
Yes.
What this was Daniel Garcia saving us from the terrible reign of Jack Perry.
From that gorgeous title. The title that Jack Perry made famous.
Was hard. I actually
the
think
title reign that set Jack Perry apart from everybody else because he's better than everybody else.
It sounds like from Twitter. So I saw Jack getting lambasted on Twitter
by CM Punk stands. Wow.
About no, it was about just AEW fans saying how much they hated the reign. I actually like Jack's reign.
AEW fans are spoiled and brats. We already talked about that.
It's just never going to compare to what Daniel Garcia is about to give us. He's already entering the Continental Classic.
What,
I mean, look at that.
Him moaning with Isaiah Cassidy.
He doesn't moan, but hopefully he will be soon. I think we all did. I think there was a collective moan in the world when Daniel Garcia tapped out Jack Perry.
No, there wasn't.
Jack Perry also foreshadowed his next career as he threw the garbage on Daniel Garcia, and that's probably how he will be working for the next 5 years.
That's literally never going to happen. You're so
Garcia
funny. Garcia landed where he belongs, in the trash of New York.
He's TNT champion.
For now.
This was in Jersey.
Garcia, same shit, different day.
Garcia was able to, don't tell that to a New Yorker.
I will.
Garcia got
a
music video, kind of video package type thing.
His mommy telling him you're working so hard, but don't.
And she was right.
Don't give too much of yourself.
And she was right.
He's a whiny little mama's boy.
And also a champion, because Jack Perry is.
Jack Perry willingly sacrificed himself. You're welcome.
And Daniel Garcia now, my TNT champion. Your TNT champion.
Not my TNT
Everyone's
champion.
TNT champion.
It's not my president, and that's not my TNT champion.
This match was cool.
It was fine.
But Garcia being champion was the moment, and truly the moment of the night.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. No. But Jack smiling. Oh, Jack smiling at Garcia afterwards. He is just such a good person. That's my Jesus. That's who I pray to. Somebody who could be so selfless and just truly be happy for others. That's my Jesus. That's who I pray to. My religion is scapegoat. Okay? Thank you. Now, this match, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened much in Takeshita versus Ricochet because I was still celebrating the Garcia win.
I was crying.
Yeah, well, Sucks to suck.
Sucks. You're gonna be outside again. We're gonna go outside. You and Harry outside, and only one of you's coming back in.
But however, from what I've seen, the reaction and the last little bit that we watched, a lot of people were kind of disappointed in this match.
I think it was just like, I mean, the comments say unnecessarily long. I just think it wasn't necessary on the card.
No, this was booked at the very last second to be a match. I think that it was it felt rushed, and then this match kind of felt rushed. Unfortunate because I think Takeshita and Ricochet are awesome.
Yeah.
Takeshita in particular, I think, is going to be world champion in the next few years, but not I think the pay-per-view that you wanted for Ricochet.
Yeah.
And I do think that the more and more that may happen, the more and more he may be joining the Hurt Syndicate.
That would be cool. I'd be interested to see a heel Ricochet.
Yeah, I would be too. I
really like what they're doing with the Hurt Syndicate too.
I also think it's kind of cool. So a lot of people were like, if you have Ricochet's moveset, he can never be heel in WWE because the fans like him too much, right? But I think that the fans are so used to that in AEW that he could be a heel.
Yeah.
Even he changed it for this championship reign, but Jack Perry did flips and everything. He's still a heel, So cool match. It was fine. Not much to say here.
Yeah.
Then we got to Swerve versus Bobby Lashley, which was cool. I was kind of surprised at the ending here.
I feel like it was fast.
I don't know how long it was.
It felt fast to me. I may have still been reeling.
I felt dumb not knowing that Swerve's gear was Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia inspired.
I didn't feel dumb. I would have never guessed that.
Great album. Not as good as GNX, though. And then Bobby Lashley ends up getting the win here after Shelton is thrown out. Not MVP, by the way, which I felt was interesting. Nana really trying to get Swerve over in this match as well.
Nana got fucked up.
And Bobby ends up hitting the Hurt Lock on Swerve, tapping him out. I'm cool with this, but I think overall what I didn't love about this pay-per-view is it's kind of cool to see the heels just win clean sometimes, but not with the biggest baby face. Fucking cheat. You're a heel for a reason. Fucking cheat.
But I think the thing with Swerve is that he's not fully a face. People really like him, but him as a person, him as a character, he's very heel. And I think you said it. I think it was you.
You should have said him as a person.
What'd I say?
He's not a heel person. He's not a horrible person.
No, but the character.
Yeah, the character. I just wanted that not because out of context, when you're well, him as a person is a heel.
No, whatever. His stupid character. It might have been you who said this was karma because Bobby, Shelton, MVP are all friends, and Swerve turned on everybody. He has no friends left. I do think they need to lean a little more into that.
Yes.
Something, even if it's something as simple as they keep beating up on him, Swerve's backstage talking to Renee or whatever, and they come up and they're like, you did this to yourself.
Exactly.
if you actually had friends, you could potentially compete with us.
Yeah. No, or just Swerve sitting there and being like, yo, bro, all right, I'm gonna face it's Bobby and Shelton that he has to face. And even if Leo Rush or Ricochet join, it's 3, and then they're like, all right, go get 2 guys.
Yeah.
And Swerve going around, and he's like, no one will say yes to me.
Yeah.
And, somebody kind of bring him over, whoever is the voice of reason or whoever, and be like, of course.
Right.
You destroyed everybody and did horrible shit to become world champion. Nobody likes you anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And that could be a really compelling story that they could run with Swerve and the Hurt Syndicate for a while. I think that this was just the very beginning.
Yeah.
I do think that we probably get to see Swerve versus Bobby again at World's End where Swerve wins unless they're doing C2, which I could also see.
Fair.
I'll also be interested to see if Ospreay and Fletcher are in the C2. I do think that Ricochet and Takeshita are going to be in the C2. And then we get to the main event.
Yes.
Jonathan Moxley versus Orange Bloody Cassidy.
The most compelling part of this by far was the aftermath when the match was over.
Okay, so I have seen a debate a lot. Were you not entertained by this match?
No, this was a good match. I was entertained, but I just
I thought this match was awesome.
It's a good match. I just can't buy into Orange Cassidy. In the main event against Jon Moxley.
Go fuck yourself.
I just can't. I can't do it.
Orange Cassidy's awesome.
He's good. He's great for what he is.
No. He's next. He should be a world champion one day.
I just
awesome
don't.
wrestler.
I don't I don't know if it's the gimmick or the move set or the vibe or the whatever, all of those things combined. It just doesn't smack me in the face with I am in the main event. It doesn't excite me, I guess,
I
is my
can't
thing.
disagree with you more. I think
So
Orange is amazing. I think this match was so awesome.
it was a good
it's
match. It just
very
like
all out. No, but I think it's awesome that it's like Orange. You got to go to like Mox's level. You got to start biting him, and Orange bit him.
he did.
We got to start scraping backs. You know what I mean? Like it's going into like we're not doing the lazy kicks, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's with John Moxley, that's over with.
Right.
You can go back when you're facing Rocky Romero or somebody. Like you can't be doing that against Mox. And Mox
Right.
gonna go pull that out of you.
Yeah.
Now he also pulled his heart out of him. But Orange Cassidy also almost won this match on multiple occasions that really did make me jump. I didn't think that Orange was winning whatsoever, but
Yeah.
there was these moments where and
Yeah.
the fans I don't give like even Dave Meltzer was like, "Oh yeah, they were only up for the Osprey match and like the AJ match." Well, I don't know what
That's
the
not
fuck.
true.
I don't know what the fuck he was watching because the fans were extremely into the Mercedes match and extremely into this one.
Yeah.
Where I mean, it wasn't just this is awesome shit. It's like the fans are on their feet for that last time before
Yeah.
Orange loses. The Death Riders come out, they get involved because of course they're going to, and I think that also showed like desperation from Mox. Like he
Yeah.
needed the Death Riders, and Orange using the briefcase, and you think that's it. And there was a split second in my mind where I was like, "Is Mox gonna lift that shoulder up?"
Right.
Of course he does, and Mox ends up winning this. And then after the match, they have
Chaos
the
ensues.
Death Riders come out, and I feel like this part got really overshadowed because I don't know what they're about to do with Orange Cassidy. But Moxley and Wheeler Yuta take a bottle of bleach
Yeah.
and have him
Drink it.
drink it. Now, we basically just forget about Cassidy after that.
Yeah.
And I don't love that. Because what is that just like, oh, because I was like, I think Cassidy's going to die. I think that they
Yeah.
were going to write him off for 4 or 5 months or
Yeah.
something. And it doesn't look like they did that, but they could have because obviously he drank bleach.
Yeah.
So like a kind of a crazy spot that we just kind of go away with because
Yeah.
Hangman comes down and you're like, Hangman is there to save the day. I was super excited about this because it was my booking video I've had that it was going to be Mox versus Hangman.
Yeah.
And that's why I made my C2 video and that's why I made it the way I did because I
Yeah.
thought Hangman versus Mox made sense. As Hangman has been distracted by all of his hatred and then he comes back and he's like, I have to save AEW. Fuck.
Yeah.
I've been so caught up in everything else. I have to save AEW.
Yeah.
And it looked like that was going to happen. And then Christian comes down because Mox and Hangman and Christian made the deal that Hangman would help out Christian, and then Christian would get and then Hangman would get the first opportunity at the title. And then Hangman hesitated and was like, "I don't want to give this to you," because I think Hangman truly is still a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's just lost himself so far. But that guy's still in there. And I think that that's going to be Hangman's progression. I think that maybe Mox is going to beat the good guy into him.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why Hangman's losing. Oh, shit, I didn't think about that till now. Maybe that's why Hangman's losing. Because Hangman isn't Hangman. This bad guy Hangman? Because look. At the end of this... Oh, brain blast here. At the end of the Swerve Hangman story, or the Hangman Swerve story, right? Hangman's the good guy.
Yeah.
Until he injects until he goes so far that it literally changed him.
And then he like.
And now
feels
he's
bad
not.
after.
But it's just he's not the same guy. He's not the same wrestler. He's not the same person anymore. And he has to either get that good guy back into it. He has to get old Hangman back, or he has to live with this new person. And he doesn't know how to win. He doesn't know how to be a wrestler in the same way because he's not really him. I think that he needs to go become Hangman again, and maybe Mox has to quite literally choke that out of him, beat that out of him, maybe put a syringe in his mouth. I don't know. To go change that into him, and it genuinely might be PTSD. He may have went so far with Swerve that it's like PTSD, and he is like reeling from that. So that happens. He hesitates for Christian. Christian's about to cash in to become the next AEW World Champion, and Jay White.
Thank God Jay White stops him. For all things that are good here and in New Zealand, thank you.
I don't think Christian's cashing in that contract.
Ever, hopefully.
I think he cashed it in for a new title.
Whatever works for me. I just don't want Christian as champion.
Christian's great.
I hope that that's kind of the direction they're going with Hangman, because what I was gonna say earlier when I was like, I'm gonna talk about it later on, is I feel like, I don't know how to like describe it, but I feel like Hangman has had some really good like potential in like his feuds, but like it feels like it hits like a climax point and then goes down.
Yeah, Tony.
And it like keeps doing it. Like we had the Swerve thing, and like Swerve goes into his house and then it like stops, and then we wait a while, and then they go and they burn the house down, and then it stops, and then it goes to the match, and then it stops, and it's like we keep pausing in the middle of like what's going on with Hangman, that I feel like he hasn't had like a good like strong consistency to what's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been hurting his character and his stories that he's been doing, just like from a viewership standpoint.
Yeah.
Because there were times over the last year like he comes out and I have to go, wait, what is he doing again?
Yeah.
What is the point of this?
Tony Khan has to pay for his sins. Tony Khan, because that's my baby boy right there, Hangman Adam Page. I think, and when you incorporate everything in the ability to tell stories and everything, probably wrestler of the year is Hangman Adam Page.
But I do think it makes a lot of sense though that, you know, I do think Darby is the one to take the title.
Absolutely.
From Mox.
Darby's taking the title.
But I do think that Hangman should be what people thought Orange's place might be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I think would be great is that Hangman comes in, because I've already seen people be like, actually, I think Hangman's going to be the guy. I think, and this was before Hangman came out, right? They're like, eventually Hangman's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, Hangman is the guy next.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people, it's going to make them go, oh, of course, Hangman's the guy that has to save AEW. He's the savior of AEW. He's the hero, blah, blah. He's the hero that, like, has to be forced back into being the hero. Great. Yeah. And that is a great story. He's not winning because the hero in this story is Darby Allin. But I do love that Hangman gets to be in the spot, and I hope that is the spot. And I hope it's not the Fatal 4-Way, because we see Jay White get involved, take away the contract from Christian, then the Death Riders beat up Jay White. I found it really interesting that Jay White yells Pac.
He calls out Pac at the end of that.
Claudio was also putting boots on.
Pac and Claudio both go after Jay White when he takes out Christian.
Yeah.
But Jay White only said Pac.
Yeah. And in my video, I actually had Jay White stepping up and blaming Moxley, right? And then being like, I want to shot with Moxley. And Claudio, I said in the video, steps up and is like, you want to go to Moxley, you gotta get through me.
Yeah.
But okay, just flip Pac, cool. And we just do that. And it's just Jay White Pac at World's End. That's awesome. I hope that's the way that we're doing it. It's not this Fatal 4-Way. Yeah. And we'll see with the Continental Classic. I think that'll allow,
I think once we see who's in the C2, and then
Jay White and Pac should be in the C2.
I think also for me, respectfully, I think once we have now hopefully moved past the Orange Cassidy piece of the story, I can be more entertained again.
Yeah, I don't know what your thing is with Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy's amazing.
I don't know. It just doesn't hit for me. I can appreciate that like everybody pretty much besides me likes him. But it just doesn't hit for me.
I think it's only AEW fans.
Probably.
I think that like when it's like WWE fans, they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's like,
it's the WWE fan in me that's like, I don't get it.
Maybe, but I just think it's like, god damn, dude, he's just so good.
He's really good at what he does. It just doesn't hit for me.
He reminds me of like Mick Foley or somebody, or Sami Zayn, I guess. Is a lot of people like, they're like, I don't get it. Is Orange redhead? Kind of a little bit, yeah.
Quite literally.
But it's like, Mick Foley's not redhead.
No, but Sami is.
But they're just kind of like the guy that like you just don't expect. And I think that a lot of people are like, oh, like they're good wrestlers. I'm like, nah, man. Like Orange is like,
he is really good.
But like, I'd put him in the top 20 in the world right now. Like,
I'd
go that far, because it's just like, and these matches prove it to me on the big stage. Orange Cassidy, like on the big stage, he fucking hits home runs. He's a Freddie Freeman type dude. Like he goes crazy. Sorry,
go fuck
Yankees
yourself.
fan. Sorry,
go fuck yourself.
But then so it looks like what I'm hoping is we get Mox at Hangman at World's End. We get Mox versus Jay White at Grand Slam Australia, which I definitely think is the way to go. And then we get the next guy, because Mox is able to get away from everybody, walk out of the arena. And then a car wrecks into their car, and apparently it was really him in the car, wrecking the car, which I think Tony Khan sometimes tell Vlad no. Darby Allin, which I think is the ultimate end goal, is Darby Allin taking that title off of Moxley.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does in between that. Maybe Darby's in the C2.
But I think that's my other issue is like it almost is like in order to keep like people like Orange and Hangman in, they got to keep Darby like he's not in the arena.
Exactly.
Like you have to be able to like
Darby
has to be present through the story.
Logically, they have to put barriers for Darby to jump through. In the same way, they didn't do the greatest job of it. But in WWE, when they had Cody, and he needed obstacles to go through to get back to Roman, because it was, hey, this is going to be a year from now, right? And they had a couple months, bro. Yeah. I mean, it was like, hey, bro, well, you're feuding with Shinsuke. And I love Shinsuke to death, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But, like, that feud was buns. Yeah. Right? You're going to feud with Brock Lesnar. Buns. Like, some of this shit was just, like, straight up bad. And it didn't make any sense. Yeah. But you need to put logical roadblocks for Darby to get to. As Darby continuously is like, no, I need to get after Mox. And it's Pac. It's Claudio.
I also think I miss the older pieces we used to have of the backstage segments. Where, like, you know, a big part of the reason that I think Jack Perry might be joining the Death Riders is because of the segments we saw with Jack and Mox backstage, where Mox was like, no matter what happens, I like you. And, like, you know, whatever. And then all the backstage stuff of, like, Death Riders going after people and Darby trying to, like, recruit people and hype up the AEW originals to be like, fucking, like, ride with me. Let's go, like, do this. Let's save our home or, you know, whatever. And we've stopped that, too.
So, I just thought about this. Do you think, do they do Jack and Darby again?
I don't know.
Logically, it makes sense.
I think if Jack goes into the Death Riders, yes. But, I mean, we don't know for sure that that's what he's going to do.
Jack's joining.
I hope so.
Okay.
Tony Khan, you can make this up.
Let's say Jack does join the Death Riders. Do they do Jack Darby again? Because I don't know if I don't know if I love that they do it again. Like, I love that. Outside of that, they already just did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's my only issue. But I think they have to. I think that would make sense. Like, Darby he needs obstacles. Jack's an obstacle that can light him on fire. Yeah. We've seen him do it.
Yeah. I guess go crazy.
I guess Darby lit him on fire. But, you know, it's stuff like that I think that could be really interesting because Jack needs something new to do. Yeah. And I think that ultimately, say, World's End or I think at the very latest Revolution, Jack's going to get into it with Kenny. Mm. But between that, you need Jack to have something to do. Yeah. You know, maybe there's more people added into the Death Riders. Or maybe
Jack takes on Orange.
Maybe Jack and Orange. That can make sense. It's another thing. I don't know if Orange is dead or not.
That's fair.
You know, or Orange is taken out. So all of this is very, very interesting. It makes Dynamite really interesting. Yeah. But
we're at the point now where it's like everything is kind of stalled, and so now we're like, where does everybody go next?
Yeah, I think the C2 is the first big puzzle piece there. Yeah. And then I think that it's gonna start like, I'm almost wanting to write everything down and just try to see what connects with what. Yeah. To try to see like, all right, who's gonna be the next one? Yeah. But yeah, I think that Darby has to have some kind of obstacle. Maybe it's Claudio. What?
We forgot one of my biggest pops of the night.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Finally.
Oh my God, yeah.
Willow takes out Marina. Thank you, Lord Jesus, Jack Perry. Holy hell. It was so, I like literally, oh my God, I have been just wanting to slam my head into a wall every time Marina goes after someone and there's not a single fucking woman in the back who came out to help anybody.
To be fair.
Drove me fucking insane.
To be fair, we talked about this right before it happened on the podcast.
It was crazy because we were like, well, I don't know if Willow is cleared yet, and you know, it could have been stabbed, but she wrestled, and we're going, and then literally 20 seconds later, out comes Willow.
We were saying the only, like, Willow had to have been written for this story, and they didn't do Willow because she had a concussion, because that's the only thing that makes sense. And then we were like, so if it wasn't Willow, why the fuck wasn't Stat there? Because obviously she has that relationship with Orange. Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
I
unless
even said
it was
could
Willow.
Have been like Anna Jay.
Right. But we were like, it like because they didn't do anybody else, it had to have been Willow. Yeah. And then Willow comes out and beats the shit out of Marina.
Great timing.
Thank God that they're doing that. It also makes me very interested. That kind of makes me go towards, Orange isn't like gonna be off TV.
No, I think he's staying.
Thank God. I hope he's in the C2 and Yuta is fucking it up for him, because I think that ultimately the story is Orange and Yuta. Yeah. Right. You can do fucking God. Jay White Pack. Jack's gonna die if he's got to go up against. Wait, no, sorry. Jack would be with Claudio, and he would be with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant fighting Claudio. I was like, wait a minute, where are we going?
No. That's what I was thinking at first, but I was like, no. I mean, it would be Darby Claudio, which is fine. They've been fighting actually, so that makes sense. That's World's End. Okay, cool. And then Mox and Hangman. What the fuck does Jack do? I actually think Jack's probably not wrestling. Listen, he may be subjected to Tomohiro Ishii, or he may be subjected to Rocky Romero.
Oh, he got Rocky Romero.
He would have Rocky Romero, but it's just like
Ishii a little scary. Oh my god!
Does Jack bring in House of Torture?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he brings in Dick Togo.
No, hold on. He does actually.
Dick Togo.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah. Dick Togo's not wrestling, but yeah. Jack brings in House of Torture, and
I will pop so fucking hard.
And Rocky brings in dudes from New Japan because Rocky's with New Japan.
Okay,
he's the Forbidden Door,
listen,
right?
I don't even care.
So
I don't even care. Bring in Ren Narita and Dick Togo right now. Right now. What are you doing? What is that?
So what I think we're gonna have like a 4-on-4 at World's End with Jack leading it against Rocky.
Oh my god! If he brings in Dick Togo, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna pop. So
we're getting House of Torture versus.
I'm so excited.
Oh shit!
Rocky and those other people. That's
no,
fine.
What's Rocky in? Is Rocky in Chaos?
I don't know. You just said.
I don't know. We're booking this like crazy.
Yeah, we are. Okay, but anyway, we're at like an hour, I think, almost. All right, so wrapping this up, I think I give this like a 7.
Yeah,
For me.
I said 8, and I can't tell if I'm being too nice about that.
I was leaning 6, and then I thought that was too mean, so I went 7. But like, I think for me, it's like the 4-way tag was fine. Mm-hmm. It didn't really do anything. MJF Roddy shouldn't have been on the card. Takeshita Ricochet did not need to be there. Bobby and Swerve, again, I might have still been reeling from Jack Perry, but like it felt really quick to me. I don't know, just like weirdness, some of it. Like some of it was great, but some of it was unnecessary and some of it was kind of weird. So I think I landed like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I think that I would probably go a 7. There's still some really good stuff in here.
There is. 3
pretty great matches here. A decent amount of just very good. I don't think anything was like, fucking hell, that sucked. But there was more fat on it than most AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah, I don't think anything sucked, but I do think we had like this wasn't necessary, and I think we have more of that than normal.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I would probably say a 7. This is probably a C+.
Yeah.
To even like maybe you could argue like a B- pay-per-view.
Yeah. I think like I don't know. I know it's a business. I know it's money, and I know it's all that. I do wish they would cut down on the pay-per-views a little bit because their pay-per-views used to be like 14 matches. I was down to sit for 5 hours when it was 14 matches 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Like I was like ready with the popcorn. And now it's like a lot of matches, a lot of unnecessary ones when now we have the space.
Yes.
For them on multiple cards.
Well, I think that would also make the Dynamite and Collisions more important and better.
And that's what I liked about it. Like, I watch a Raw. You put a title match on Raw, NXT, SmackDown. I know that shit ain't changing.
No, 100%.
I know nothing's going to happen. Yeah. It's like almost like a waste of time,
and
in
now,
my opinion.
And now I'd argue WWE does it more than AEW does it. With like a Jey Uso winning the title and
yeah, but that was only one.
Tag title changes and, now they're making SmackDowns right before the pay-per-views important, which that can
they're
also
making it more important. I still don't think they're doing title matches the way that AEW does on TV.
No, I think WWE's title matches are more important than AEW's title matches on TV.
I don't agree.
Right now.
I don't think so.
When's the last time it changed?
But
no, actually I'm bugging. I'm bugging because Private Party just did it.
Yeah.
Private Party just did it.
Private Party did it. Jey Uso did it like once. That was like the first time ever.
I think that maybe I just expected a little bit more out of AEW because they used to do it so much.
Yeah,
that it's kind of
slowed down.
Disappointing.
They've slowed down, but
they've slowed down to like a WWE level though.
I don't think it's that bad, but they've definitely slowed down a lot. I just wish that they would do maybe less pay-per-views so that we could have more of that.
But you know what? None of this is gonna matter. Everything that we just what we just said, it doesn't matter because the C2's back, and now every Dynamite and Collision is important.
Okay.
Because this fucking tournament's great.
He's about to
I love this C2.
Thriving.
I'm a slut for a tournament.
We know. You say that every time there is a tournament.
I'm a slut for him.
All All right. Well, so we're at 6 and 7 range. This was overall a fine
Solid.
pay-per-view.
Cool.
We're good. Shout out to Jesus Jack Perry. So like this, comment, subscribe when this gets to YouTube, because it'll be on Patreon first. So if you subscribed, you're already here. Thank you so much for watching. Comment your thoughts on grading the matches. What was the best match of the night? What should be the first stop on the Jack Perry Revenge Tour? Thanks, friends.
Probably like home and just stay there. Deuces,
I'd
guys.
go home if there was
Daniel
Anna Jay.
Garcia
I'd go home
is
if
the
Anna Jay was
TNT
there.
champion.
Okay. Thank you, Jesus Jack Perry.